House of the Dragon just had its queen behead a man with her own hands. Watch the City Watch Hand Kings landing over to the woman invading it, and ended the episode on the exact image it should have ended Season 2 on. This is what it looks like when a show makes you wait an extra full season for the Season 2 finale it was always supposed to have. There's also a quiet detail buried in the middle of this episode that might be the show telling you exactly what's coming next. Let's get into it. This episode was originally written as the back half of Season 2's finale. Budget cuts and a shortened episode order pushed it into Season 3 instead, which is why Queen's Landing never behaves like a normal episode 2. It plays like the climax it always was. It opens in the wreckage of the Battle of the Gullet. Rhaenyra stumbles in as Jace's body is laid down, and grief hits her in stages. Denial, then fury at Ser Laurent for keeping her locked in her chambers during the battle, then nothing at all. She tells him to choose his own death sentence. We never actually see that carried out. Hold on to that, because this show has a habit of letting threads like that pay off later. In the Vale, Rhaena is dealing with the fallout of abandoning her post. She was supposed to be escorting her two young half-brothers, Aegon and Viserys, safely to Pentos, but ran off to chase a wild dragon instead. Lady Jane Eyre refuses her asylum at the Eyrie outright, but lets the dragon nest in the misty canyons anyway. A wild dragon roaming her land beats no dragon at all if Vhagar ever comes calling. In the Riverlands, Daemon and the Winter Wolves are celebrating the fish feed, the land victory that gutted the Lannister vanguard, with Lord Jason Lannister's head on a spike. Mid-celebration, Alice Rivers asks Daemon for Harrenhal once the war ends. He shuts her down completely, calling her a midwife to her face. Word reaches Daemon that Jace is dead. He hands off the army and flies to Dragonstone, where he finds Hugh Hammer and Ulf the White, who had already abandoned their post at Harrenhal. Furious, he slaps Ulf across the face. That grudge matters, because these are two men who already control two of the most powerful dragons alive. Daemon also pushes a grieving Rhaenyra back into motion, invoking Viserys' old prophecy to argue that her son's deaths only mean something if she actually takes the throne. In King's Landing, Alicent is working the City Watch behind the scenes, trying to secure a bloodless surrender. Ser Ricard Thorne grows suspicious and reports it to Jasper Wilde, the Master of Laws. Wilde confronts her alone in her chambers and attempts to sexually assault her before Grand Maester Orwyle bursts in and has him arrested. Elsewhere, Aegon and Larys, already captured by Black Loyalist knights, get a stroke of luck. Triarchy stragglers fleeing the Gullet ambush their captors, and in the chaos, the two slip away. The crippled king is still on the run. Then the invasion. Syrax, Caraxes, Vermithor, and Silverwing descend on King's Landing together, and Daemon cuts through what's left of the Loyalists inside the Red Keep. In the throne room, Ser Ricard Thorne and the remaining guards laugh when Rhaenyra draws a sword, certain she has no idea how to use it. Then Luther Largent arrives with the gold cloaks and declares for the queen. Largent isn't switching sides out of fear. He's loyal to Daemon personally, because it was Daemon who built and armed the City Watch 2 decades earlier, and that loyalty outlasted every king who's worn the crown since. Orwyle, desperate to save himself, gives up Jasper Wilde, who's already locked in the dungeon. But the jailer has something better waiting. Otto Hightower, secretly imprisoned there for months by Larys Strong, completely unknown to his own daughter and grandson. Otto is dragged before Rhaenyra, and she carries out his execution herself instead of having someone else do it. Her first swing misses its mark, landing on his upper back instead of his neck, and she has to strike again to finish it. Daemon then beheads Jasper Wilde. The show isn't selling Rhaenyra's act as empowerment. It's showing what it costs someone who's never killed anyone to suddenly become someone who has. Rhaenyra climbs the Iron Throne, walking through Otto's blood to get there. The moment she sits, Alicent and Helaena are brought in as captives, forced to look at the body. Whatever was left of the bond between Rhaenyra and Alicent dies in that single shot. Earlier in the episode, in a quieter scene, Helaena studies insects in the courtyard and says, almost to herself, "This is strange. It isn't the season." Said on the same day her grandfather is executed and her half-sister takes the throne by force. It plays like more than just an offhand comment. Across the realm at Harrenhal, Aemond arrives expecting Daemon and finds almost nobody, since Hugh and Ulf had already abandoned their post there. He kills Ser Simon Strong, an old man who refuses to even raise a sword against him, then kills his grandsons too. One of them manages to stab Aemond in the side before dying. Aemond collapses, crawls to Alice Rivers, and begs for help. The same woman Daemon dismissed earlier in this episode is now the only thing standing between him and a slow death in the dark. By the end of Queen's Landing, Rhaenyra has the Iron Throne and 4 dragons stationed in the capital, but no ground forces in the city to actually defend it if the Greens regroup. Aegon is loose, and the one Targaryen who could have ended this war outright is bleeding out at the mercy of a woman with her own plans entirely. Let me know in the comments what you caught that we missed.